Hi, my name is Emma, and I made this silly little video about not being a gym rat anymore. And in that video, I mentioned I used to do powerlifting and also functional patterns. And when I uttered the word functional patterns, my brain just had all these memories coming back because, whoa, I have not thought about that in a long time. So this was a couple days ago, and my gut has been churning with all of the feelings coming back from when I was really invested in this system. And here is my review of it, okay? I know what it was like to be both a customer and a client. So, a customer, because I was purchasing the products, I purchased an ebook, an online course, I purchased an in person course. I was signed up for a further level of course and then withdrew that. But then I was also a client because, in addition to doing the courses, I was doing one on one personal training with two specialists within the company, people who were at a level 2, and the levels go practitioner, specialist 1, specialist 2, specialist 3. Maybe there's higher levels now. I don't know. So I was with people who were level 2. So these are people who I should have been able to look up to, okay, because they should know more than me. And I did one-on-one sessions, and my goal was to become in better fitness myself because I felt like I had lost my natural athleticism after doing some intense powerlifting. So I had just thrown myself into powerlifting after I had started at a gym, got really good, really fast, but then ultimately realized this is not the activity that I want to be doing long term. So then I had found functional patterns, switched gears, and believed this is going to help me become athletic again. When I was little, I was so fast. I was always the smallest, but really fast, really good soccer player. And I just wanted to feel like myself again with that. And also I wanted to become a better personal trainer because I did not take it lightly that people pay you so much money to get good results. Excuse me. And sometimes you don't understand why people don't get results. And you tell people, yeah, we can work on this pain of yours, and the pain doesn't go away. Or everything's going fine, and then pain pops up in a new part of their body, and you just don't know where that came from. Somebody has gotten hurt on my watch before doing personal training, and I feel awful about it, okay? Personal training is a very serious job, and people should not take it lightly, but it is something that you can just jump into without any specialized education. And honestly, like, gyms are always hiring personal trainers. I did not take the job lightly. I wanted to be a good personal trainer. And when I found functional patterns, it seemed like the best of both worlds, that I could help myself, help other people, and my intentions truly were good. I'm not a personal trainer anymore, but like the message of functional patterns, there's no arguments there. People should be able to move freely without pain, and you should be physically capable of losing weight, physically capable of building muscle, physically capable of running a race, improving performance with whatever sports and hobbies you have. Like, you need to know if you're even at like the level, like the baseline, before you try to reach for more. And then, doing that is going to set yourself up to be a more fit person in the future, right? Like, long term, it may feel like a slower start, but it's going to serve you more. So what did I do? I think I already mentioned, yeah, I took a course. And this course, it was so lucky, it's close to home, okay? A lot of people who took the Human Foundations courses, they're flying in to take these courses that at the time cost $2,000 for, it was a few hours a day for 3 days. Also lucky is that the course was run by who I would consider to be the right-hand man of the founder himself. So that was amazing because this guy should really know what he's talking about. So after taking that course, that's when I started doing personal training. And where the course was, it was a functional patterns branded gym. So functional patterns location. So I started training with the owner of that gym because doing training in between the courses, that's a way to continue improving, hold yourself accountable, and gain more information because everybody is signing non-disclosure agreements. So Somebody who takes a higher level course within the company, they cannot share the information that they are learning in their course unless it's something that the founder has already made common knowledge. So in the foundations course, you are learning the most basic level of principles that you could just apply to yourself in general public. But then going on, you learn more specific things. And yeah, with yourself and with your clients, you might need more specific answers. And it's difficult to wait, let's say, 1-2 years and have $4,000 to take the next course. So investing in personal training in the meantime was a good way to do this. And this is a very common thing, even within like brick and mortar chain gyms. Like trainers get training from other trainers, and it's for their own benefit, but also to achieve it's like a source of mentorship in a way. So that's what I was doing. I was simultaneously seeking mentorship and personal improvement, and both of those things were communicated with my trainer. And what kinds of results was I going for? Well, I definitely wanted to run better. And in functional patterns, being able to compare a gait video of somebody running before and after, that's pretty important. That's something that is definitely valued, showing results, because the person in the video, if they are running as fast as they can to the best of their ability, they're not going to be hiding or masking the problems the same way you might be able to teach yourself to squat so it looks a certain way. It's hard to run at full speed and make it look anything other than how your body's going to be capable from getting from point A to point B. So I had a video taken of me when I first started my sessions, but there was never a follow-up video. And how many sessions did I do? I think probably between 35 and 40 sessions. I would do 1 or 2 hours at a time every week to every other week, and this went on for a very, very long time. There was never a follow-up video taken. I asked for it multiple times. For some reason, no initiative was ever taken to actually get that follow-up footage for me. I was always ready for it. I expressed that I was signed up for the next level of the course to become the biomechanics specialist level 1. And I knew that at that course, which was going to be in Hawaii, that I knew the attendees run on a treadmill in front of everybody and in front of the founder. And I was concerned that I was in the dark about what my running form looked like at that point in time. So I really wanted to do that follow-up. And I told her this, and now you know it's her. I told them this, and they said, even if you walk in there and you show up and you run exactly like you did of how I saw you on that first day, I'm going to be so proud of you. I'm like, this is not actual like evidence and results that we're talking about. Like this, the reason I came was to improve, and now I'm being told it doesn't matter. Like in my heart, I believe in you. And yeah, I realized that, among other things, that the personal training experience with my functional patterns trainer was no better than any other la-di-da trainer in the gym. Many times I realized the trainer was winging it. I would get told, we are going to do this exercise today, and then get shown how to set it up. This is what it does, blah, 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 like a long explanation. But we'd had this conversation before. Like I'd been shown this exercise before, and it was not, let's see how you're doing with this. Do you remember we did it last time? We saw this problem. Well, let's check it out today. No, like it was being introduced to me as if we had never done it before. They forgot. This happened so many times. One time I walked into the gym, actually on the very first day, and saw a group class going on, and there was old people standing on half Bosu balls doing dumbbell shoulder presses above their head, and they could only like do this with their arms. So like people with absolutely no mobility in their shoulder girdles trying to do movements they have no business doing on top of an unstable surface. And my mind is going, what? Like this is the antithesis of like the care and attention I thought was supposed to be going on. Like the personal trainers in my own gym, who I would consider not good, they wouldn't even do this stuff. So it was all like the veil was kind of ripped off a little bit. So ultimately I had to decide this mentorship here is not for me. Like, just because the name is on the door does not guarantee that's what is happening inside is something special. So I had reached out to the guy who taught my Human Foundations course, the guy who is the right-hand man to the founder. And then I asked for advice on who could I train with next. So I gave him a list of names, people who are in my country, people I would be able to train with online because it was COVID. And he suggested one person out of the list. He said, you should pick this guy. I only gave him a few names. He doesn't know everything, but he said, you should pick this person. So I did. And I did maybe 12 sessions with that guy. And yeah, maybe on like the 11th session, I asked him, so out of the things that we've been working on, is there anything that you could say I've improved on? And then he was just absolutely stumped. This guy did not know what to say. And that was just, it was incredibly awkward for both of us. He apologized to me the next session, and I think he is a good person. But it's just highlighting that 2 times in a row, my trainers, even in their head, do not have a plan in place for what issues they are tackling, how far along into that journey of addressing it we are, and like just knowing the place. Like, you don't have to write down this exercise, this many sets, this many reps, this many weight equals this, and just have endless data that you don't know what it means. But even qualitatively, like, shouldn't they have known my place, and shouldn't they be able to verbalize, I've picked exercises A, B, and C because I noticed this trend in your movement, and there's been good improvement, but I think in the future we should keep working toward, like, there's just no, like, none of that was communicated with me. So I felt like 2 times in a row, people had dropped the ball. And I tried to ask questions about this to the founder himself, because he used to do a lot of Instagram Q&As, and also he did YouTube live streams for a while. And I would tune into these and ask questions as frequently as I could, because I always had a lot of questions and I wanted to know his opinion because I valued it. And I asked something related to the principles of progressive overload, like the physiological principles of how much stress somebody can, take in, and, the results that are going to come from overcoming that, and what's too much stress, and, like, how does he see these things applying? And he said, he read it out loud on the stream, replied that is a good question. He's going to think on it and come back to it. And either I missed it on a future live stream or something, but I never got the answer there, unfortunately. But that's just telling me like these things that are missing, they should be addressed. I don't know if it was just assumed that trainers can do these things on their own, but I think it's important, if you are empowering people, that they're going to make a difference in the lives of their clients, and also really boosting up the ego that if you are employing functional patterns techniques, you are doing something that is much higher quality than what the average trainer in a regular schmegular gym is doing. Then you should give trainers all the tools that they need. And I think that that was like a huge gap that needed to be closed when it came to how people were prepared. So I had told the course instructor, I went back to him and I said, this has been my experience 2 times in a row, and I am disheartened about this. And he just told me that I needed to pick better trainers. So it kind of like shut down any possibility for conversation. And this guy lives with the founder. Like, he follows him around. Like, it would have just taken, a look to the side to say, oh, somebody noticed that X, Y, and Z is going on. We think quality control is very important, and to acknowledge it somehow. But there was no acknowledgement. It came back on me. So I decided, if my failures are my own failures, and I'm going to have to prove myself in order to gain access to higher levels of knowledge in this system. Like, if there's no accountability for the people within the system, then I just want to be an individual. I want to own my own failure, and I also want to be able to take my own credit for my success, because it is very important to this founder and this company that it is given due respect. So the results that people get employing the techniques, they want that to reflect on them, because he believes that those are his intellectual property, right? But you know, if I do things for myself and they work, I'm going to take the credit for it. I am not affiliated with this company. They wouldn't even know who I am. They probably think, good riddance, she's not the type of girl that we want associated with us. And I made peace with that when I decided to withdraw from taking the next level of course, accept my experience with those other trainers. And at the end of the day, I see Functional Patterns as a company that is really good on paper, has some great personal trainers within the system, because I've seen some amazing results on social media. But as far as my own experience as the customer client, I was let down twice, and not taken seriously when I try to voice those concerns. So it makes me hard to believe that they really do care about quality control as much as they say. And yeah, there was a lot of other like really silly stuff going on. And I just didn't like the type of person that I was, trying to adhere to these really strict standards of behavior. I remember the course instructor unfollowing me multiple times, and I asked why, and it was because I was following somebody who was on reality TV. So, you know, do they want to be associated with somebody who watches reality junk TV and follows a guy from that, and that guy had like a shirtless pic or something like that? Like, you know, that's something that was be like, we don't want to be associated with her. And that was a common theme, is that the message was sent out that they are weeding you out. All the people trying to claw their way into the system and get a piece of the pie, like, we're going to weed you out. A lot of you don't deserve to be here. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to step myself out. And to this day, I still use some of the things I learned. A lot of the things that I would still use to this day are things that are like common knowledge. Like, you know how you can't copyright or patent things that should be accessible to everybody. Like, at the end of the day, the stuff that I use in my own training is stuff that you independently could come to the conclusion of. Okay, I rambled a little bit, but I'm gonna cut that out. What I want to leave with is that the type of person I am, like, I am naturally a little bit emotional. I ruminate on things, and when I exited myself from the functional patterns world, you know, I did feel hurt a little bit, because I had put so much energy into this to feel not important and cast aside. But that's definitely like a me thing. I think it was wrong of me to assume that I could fix all my problems by putting my trust into this external system. And I think that it's my personality to fall into things with this expectation. So I definitely take ownership for that. The last thing I'll say is, it is very interesting how all you have to do is unfollow people on social media, and it's out of sight, out of mind. At one point, I was just following so many functional patterns people, and everybody is just reposting the same stuff and bolstering themselves up on the work of other people in the community. But then I just unfollowed everything, and it never showed up again. Like, unless I were to search it, it doesn't show up. So maybe it's growing and booming, and everybody in the world knows about it, or maybe not everybody knows about it like they expected to. But if you find this video and you don't know about it, you should check it out. They do have some good information, but as with anything, buyer beware when you are looking for a personal trainer. Even me, I've done some great things with people in the past, and also times when, yeah, I feel really ashamed because I could have done so much better, but I'm not even a personal trainer anymore. So that's it.